Hello, good morning everyone. We have already seen class 9 Diversity in Living Organisms, chapter number 7, part 1, part 2 and part 3. Today we are going to start part 4. We have learned about the classification of plants. That plants are divided into 5 groups: Thallophyta, or you call the thallophytes, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Today we will study in detail about the animals. Animals have been divided into 10 groups: Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Protocordata and Vertebrata. First we will start with Porifera. Now we have got Porifera. Porifera is derived from the Greek word, 2 words. Porous means pore and ferre means to bear. So organisms which bear holes are called Porifera. The word Porifera means organisms with holes. These are non-motile animals attached to some solid support. There are holes or poles all over the body, and these lead to a canal system that helps in circulating water throughout the body, and this water bring in food and oxygen. These animals, they are covered with a hard outside layer of skeleton. So these animals are covered with a hard outside layer of skeleton, and the body design involves very less, minimal means less, differentiation and division into tissues, and therefore they are commonly known as sponges. They are commonly known as sponges, and they are mainly found in marine water, and the examples of this are given here in diagram. You can see Eplicetella, Sycon, Spongilla. Next we have Coelenterata, 2 layers of cells. One make up the cells on the outside of the body and other makes up the inner linings of the body. And some of these species lives in colonies, that means groups, and others may live solitary, alone, like the hydra. Jellyfish and sea anemones are some more examples of this Coelenterata. Diagram can be seen here of hydra and sea anemone. See, in this part there is nothing much to explain, only about these organisms are there, that's why I am not explaining much. In short, I am telling about them. Next we have Platyhelminthes. Next that we have got Platyhelminthes, and this Platyhelminthes is also made up of 2 Greek words, platis, which means flat, and helminths, which means worm. That means flat worms. So what can we say about these organisms? It can be said about these organisms that the body of animals in this group is far more complexly designed than in the other 2 groups we have already seen. The body is bilaterally symmetrical. What does this mean? Bilaterally symmetrical? This means the left and the right halves of the body have got the same design. Bilaterally symmetrical means the left and the right halves of the body have got same designs. meaning that the left and the right halves of the body have same designs. There are three layers of the cell from which differentiated tissues can be made, which is why such animals are called triploblastic. Triploblastic. These organisms are triploblastic in nature. What does triploblastic mean? See, there are, we can say, two terms, diploblastic and triploblastic. So if animals have got two germ layers in the embryo, we call them as the diploblastic. And if the animals have got three germ layers, then we call them as the triploblastic. So here we will see that these Platyhelminthes, they are triploblastic. This allows the outside and the inside body linings as well as some organs to be made. There is thus some degree of tissue formation. However, there is no true internal body cavity, and we call this internal body cavity as coelom, in which well-developed organs can be accommodated. The body is flattened dorsoventrally. Dorsoventrally means from top to bottom, which is why these animals are also called flatworms. These are either free or parasitic, free living or parasitic. That means they live alone or they live as parasite. Parasite, you know. Next we have some examples. Our free living animals are planarians, or parasitic animals are like liver flukes. See here the diagram of some of the Platyhelminthes are shown in this place. Planaria, a liver fluke, a tapeworm. Next we have nematoda. This nematoda body is also bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. Again, the same word has come, bilaterally symmetrical. The earlier only we saw the meaning of this bilaterally symmetrical. That means the left and the right half of the body have the same design. And again they are triploblastic. That means this organism's germ has got three layers. That we saw in the last case one. In the last one also we saw the meaning of triploblastic. That means organisms which have germ layers 3 are called triploblastic. Next we have the body is however cylindrical rather than flattened. Here in this one we saw Platyhelminthes that the body was flattened. Here the body is not flattened. There are tissues but not real organs. There are tissues but not real organs, although a short of the body cavity or pseudocoelom is present. These are very familiar as parasitic worms causing diseases, such as worms causing elephantiasis. Elephantiasis, you know, that means the one leg or both the legs become swollen up like that of an elephant. Such a disease known as elephantiasis. And that is that elephantiasis is a filarial worm, or the worms in the intestine that is found in the intestine. Those worms that are found in the intestine of animals, they are called roundworms or pinworm. Some examples of nematoda are shown here. Now next we will see Annelida. The Annelida are bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. So we have already seen the meaning of bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. But one more thing is here, that they have a true body cavity. That means their true organs are packed in the body structure. And this allows true organs to be packed in the body structure. There is thus extensive organ differentiation. And this differentiation occurs in a segmental fashion. with the segmented lines up one after the other from head to tail, as we can see here in the diagram. These animals are found in a variety of habitats, mostly aquatic, marine water or fresh water. Some are terrestrial also, burrowing in tubes. Some are free living organisms. Earthworm and leeches are the examples. We can see here the examples of earthworm and the leeches and the nereis. Next we have got arthropoda. Acha, one more thing, Annelida meaning I forgot to tell you all. Annelida is derived from the Latin word annulus. Annulus means a ring-like segmented worm. So you can see the diagram. These organisms are having body design of ring-like. Next we have arthropoda. Arthropoda is derived from the Greek word arthros and podos. Arthropoda is derived from two Greek words, arthros and podos. So arthros means jointed and podos means foot. That means jointed legged animals. So arthropoda are jointed legged animals. This is actually the largest group of animals, and these animals are also bilaterally symmetrical and segmented. There is an open circulatory system. Open circulatory system, so the blood does not flow in the well-defined blood vessels. This arthropoda's body has got an open circulatory system, and so the blood does not flow in a well-defined vessels, and the coelomic cavity is blood filled. Arthropoda, as they have been found as the largest group of animals on this earth of the animal kingdom, about 9 lakh species are known, and the body segments of this arthropoda are grouped into two regions. If they are divided into two regions, then head and thorax, and if they are divided into three regions, then we have head, thorax and the abdomen. So examples, some of the examples are prawns, butterflies, houseflies, spiders, scorpions, crabs, etc. Diagram is shown to us here in this part of the, this is the example of arthropoda. Next we have got mollusca. Mollusca, this word mollusca is derived from the Latin word molluscus, which means soft. So body of this group of animal is soft, bilaterally symmetrical with little segmentation and without any appendages, without any helping organs. The size of the body of this group of animals, what happens, varies from a microscopic to a giant form such as octopus of about 50 feet. The coelomic cavity is reduced. There is little segmentation, as I told you earlier, with little segmentation. They have an open circulatory system and kidney-like organs for excretion. There is a foot that is used for moving around, and the examples of this mollusca are shown here in this diagram: snails, chiton, octopus, pila, unio, mussels. And this group of organism body is divided into an anterior head part, a ventral muscular foot, and a hard dorsal visceral mass. Next we will see echinodermata. This echinodermata is derived from Greek word two Greek words, echinos, which means spiny, and derma means skin. So we can say about this, in Greek, echinos means hedge, spiny mammal, and derma means skin. What do we conclude from this paragraph here? That the body of this echinodermata is spiny. These are free living organisms, triploblastic, water driven tube also they have got, and the calcium carbonate hard structure is there, that is skeleton. And the body do not have head but has an oral or aboral surfaces. Oral surface of body has 5 radial areas called the ambulacra. Example of echinodermata we can see here: sea star, sea urchin, feather star, sea cucumber, etc. Next we have Protochordata. What we have? Protochordata. So Protochordata are such organisms, such animals which are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and have a coelom, that means true body cavity. They show new feature of the body design, namely as a notochord. That means at least at some stages during their lives they will show this notochord feature, body design. So now the question is, what is a notochord? So the notochord is a long rod-like support structure that runs along the back of the animal, separating the nervous system from the gut. So notochord is a primitive type of endoskeleton, we can say. It provides a place for muscles to attach for ease of the movement. That means it is a function of the notochord, we can say. It provides a place for muscles to attach and it helps in easy movement. Protochords may not have a proper notochord present at all stages in their lives or for the entire length of the animal. These are marine animals, solitary or colonial. They may be found alone or they may live in colony. These Protochordata, adult body is covered with a tunic or test containing cellulose. Example we can see here: Blenoglosus, Herdmania, and Amphioxus. Let us see. The diagram must be given here. So they have given diagram of only one animal that belongs to Protochordata. Next we will see the last type, that is the vertebrata. These vertebrata, these are animals that have got true vertebral column. That means the backbone, we can say, an internal skeleton. That means muscle is found outside and the bone is inside. And this type of animal have got complete different distribution of muscles attached to the points that helps in the movement of the body parts. Vertebrates, they are also bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, coelomic, having true body cavity, segmented. The body is divided into different parts with complex differentiation of body, tissue, and organs. All the vertebrates, all the chordata it has been told here that all the chordata possess the following features: have a notochord, dorsal nerve cord, triploplastic, paired gill pouches, coleomate. Remaining part of this chapter we will see in another video. Thank you.